Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Beast Watch. Tonight we're going to be discussing episode 11 of The Flash, The Sound and the Fury. Spoiler warning! If you've never tuned into Beast Watch before, I do go into full spoilers for each episode of the show, so if you haven't seen the latest episode yet, you might want to go watch that, then come on back here and check out this episode of Beast Watch. With that said, let's dive in. So we learned a lot tonight about Dr. Wells. One being, we saw him use his super speed. That was pretty nuts. It's the first time we actually saw Dr. Wells use any kind of power, so it's confirmed now. He's got something going on with it. At the very end, we see him with this tachyon device of some kind. Earlier on in the season, we saw him reveal that he had the suit for the Reverse Flash, but there was kind of like a mechanism on it, the same mechanism that he wore on his chest. We didn't really know if he was controlling this as like a cyborg, or if he was in the suit trying to harness his vibrations. I don't know if he's using it to try and stabilize his power, because he does show signs of weakness after he uses his speed, and it's very much Flash-like. It's not quite as fast as the Flash, but he is fast, and that kind of confirms Dr. Wells, as far as we know, is in fact the Reverse Flash. So another big difference from this episode is that it was kind of Cisco-Ramon focused, which I really like. You know what? I was kind of annoyed with Cisco when he first came on. He was kind of like the token shtick of the show, and I wasn't really feeling it. But the more the show goes on, I actually really like Cisco. He makes me laugh more than I ever thought he could, and I enjoy learning more about the other supporting characters in the show, because everyone it's coming to find has this kind of interesting backstory to them. So I was a big fan of seeing more Cisco tonight. Now, the real star of the show tonight was, of course, Hartley Rathaway, otherwise known as Pied Piper. Now, I'm not that familiar with the Flash comics. I was never really a big Flash comic reader. I may just start because I'm such a big fan of the show, but Hartley in the show was Dr. Wells' golden boy. He was his go-to man for everything. The kid is a genius, and the actor playing him was just kills it. So he has connections with everybody, because he used to work at Star Labs with Caitlin, with Dr. Wells, and he was kind of threatened when Cisco was hired, as we've seen some flashbacks, and he doesn't want to be replaced as the golden boy, so that kind of creates a rift between him and Cisco at first, and it carried all the way through to present time now, and it really made for some interesting scenes, because this is a guy now who has all these personal connections with the team at Star Labs, and he really had kind of a vendetta against Flash, because Barry, aka the Flash, is now Dr. Wells' go-to guy. He is his new prodigy, and Hartley does not like this one bit, and he was just a really interesting character. He was interesting to watch for a number of reasons. One, like I said, he tapped into the connections with the team, which made it very personal when he would attack them, and that was really something new for the show, and I liked that a lot. And also, he was the first openly gay villain that we've seen, and I just thought that was so cool. It really gave him a personality. It really gave him dimension. This character was really fleshed out. He had relationships with people. He had, just a reality to him, and it really made him a lot more interesting to watch, and he was a really threat and a real menace to the Flash. He had all of his supersonic weapons that were just like killing everyone's eardrums, shattering glass, and he was a real menace. A lot of people were referring to him as an evil Harry Potter. I don't think Harry Potter is quite as smart as Hartley, but I could see where they get that from. And I just really enjoyed this character. I really enjoyed this episode. It was a great one tonight. So another revolution that we learned about Dr. Wells is that he decided to go ahead and perform the experiment and set off the explosion that created all of these metahumans. And Hartley Rathaway warned him that that could have happened. And Dr. Wells decided that the risk was worth the reward, and he was going to jeopardize everyone's lives, anyway. And, Hartley was not a fan of that, seeing as how Hartley then got fired by Dr. Wells, because Dr. Wells was too afraid that Hartley might try to interfere and do the right thing and stop Harrison Wells from performing the experiment, and that is what created this all-around rift to begin with. Man, what an episode. I really enjoyed this whole dynamic in this episode tonight, and they just were really, really good writing. This was also the first time that the Flash has taken on a non-meta villain. This guy was human all the way through. He was super smart, but it wasn't exactly a power he had. The only thing that Hartley got out of the explosion from the particle accelerator going off in the city was that he had damaged hearing, and he had these little coils that were in his ears that had like these supersonic qualities. But he was human through and through, both metaphorically and both formidably. As what I mean by that is that, you know, like I said, he had all these human. He was just so grounded in this world, and it was just so great to see that. He wasn't a cartoon character like Captain Cold. He was just a real person, and it was just, he's essentially just a man, and I really appreciated that dynamic. And of course, The Flash was awesome as always. Grant Gustin's just crushing it. This show is winning me over more and more and more. Every episode gets better and better. You know, there wasn't that much action. There was a few action scenes here and there, and here's the thing about this show as a superhero show is that when you get these great action sequences, it's just a bonus because the writing is so well thought out and so well executed that it's just nice little cherry on top when you get these fighting scenes. I have nothing but good things to say about this episode. I deem it a great episode. Make sure you check it out if you haven't yet. I hope you have, because I just kind of spoiled everything for you. But man, what an episode it was of The Flash tonight. What did you guys think of this episode of The Flash, The Sound and the Fury? Let us know in the comments below. And of course, remember to subscribe right here to the Level Up Network to catch a new episode of Beast Watch right after all of our favorite superhero shows. For the Level Up Network, I am, of course, the Beast NJ. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and until we meet again, sit back, relax, and enjoy the shows.